I'm making every transfer rumor I see come through, starting with Arsenal. And here's a transfer rumor. Arsenal is interested in signing Real Madrid winger Rodrigo. Well, don't need to be interested anymore, because I'm making it happen. That's just the beginning. I will make 3 transfer rumors happen to every single Premier League club, no matter how small or unrealistic the rumors are. We might see Mbappe on Brentford or Haaland at Manchester United, but in the end, we'll simulate a Premier League season and see what it will do to the Premier League table. But Rodrigo is only the first player Arsenal have got. They still need 2 more. So let's see what rumors we see. Arsenal is reportedly interested in signing Eberechi Eze from Crystal Palace. To be fair, he looks like the type of player to go to a South London club. Wait, I didn't mean it like that. I meant because he's obviously very skillful. But they still need one final signing. And the final rumor is this one. Arsenal have initiated talks with Ajax to hijack Chelsea's proposed move for Jorel Hado. He has now also been signed to the team. So 3 signings. The biggest one was obviously Rodrigo, but they already have Bukayo Saka on the right, so it will be interesting to see what Arsenal will do. Maybe play him on the left, but next club is Bournemouth. This will get interesting. Their first rumor is them wanting to sign Brian Zaragoza from Bayern Munich. Not the best of players they could have gotten, but still a decent one. Their next interest is in this center-back Lukumi. That will be Bournemouth's second player. 2 signings that haven't been that great, but their final rumor is Chevalier, and that's actually clutch, because he's a pretty decent goalkeeper that they've just got. And that does improve their team a little. But I wonder if we will see any crazy rumors later on in the video. Anyways, for now, the next club is Aston Villa. And it says here, Aston Villa is considering a move for RB Leipzig's 25-year-old striker. Say less. That's a huge transfer for Villa. They already do have Watkins, but they might lose him later on. But Villa is also reportedly eyeing Calvert-Lewin. He's actually currently a free agent, but Villa gets another striker to the team. The final rumor is United and Villa discussing a potential swap for Watkins and Garnacho. But we don't need to swap. They're interested in Garnacho, so they will get Garnacho. Next club is Brentford. Now, what interest do they have? First is Maida, the player from Celtic. He's only 78 rated, but sure. However, their next interest is Andreas Christensen, which is huge. He's a pretty solid center back, so they will now get him. And last player they're interested in here says Harvey Elliott, so that will be their final player joining their team. And it has actually improved their team a little, so fair play to Brentford. I didn't expect that. Our next club on the list will be Brighton, and the first interest I find from them is this Wimmer guy. He plays for Wolfsburg, but will now go to Brighton. But oh my god, look at this. Brighton is supposedly also interested in the GOAT Antony. That's huge. A big player. They're actually getting the GOAT himself. That might already be the best signing of the video. Anyways, their final player they're getting is actually Palhinha, so that's also pretty good. So overall, I think Brighton has done really well with their 3 signings, especially their last 2. But now we get to Chelsea, my club. Let's see who my club wants, and the first player instantly is Xavi Simons. We are reportedly interested in him. And you know what? That's actually a pretty good player. I would say he's pretty underrated, so that's a good start. But damn, we are also linked with the PSG goalkeeper Donnarumma. That's actually huge, because Robert Sanchez has been trash last season. So imagine Chelsea with an actual world-class keeper. Anyways, final player for Chelsea is Scalvini, the center-back from Italy. But overall, that has improved the team massively, especially with Donnarumma. We might just see Chelsea win the Premier League again. But for now, we get to Crystal Palace. Are there any big players linked to them? Well, let's see. First player I see linked to them is this Bisek guy, a 76 rated center back, so not good. But they are also linked with the Ukrainian striker Dovbyk. That's a much better signing already. But for their third and final player, it's actually Raheem Sterling, and I could genuinely see him play here. For absolutely no reason at all. Their team did improve. This might help them finally get above mid-table in the Premier League. Everton is, however, up now. A club I want to see do well, so hopefully they're linked with big players. And the first one straight off the bat is Takefusa Kubo, the winger from Real Sociedad. That's an amazing start. I also now see Douglas Luiz linked to them, so yet another midfielder for them. And the final player will actually be Jack Grealish, so yet another winger. That's 3 simple but very effective signings for their team. We're getting closer to the bigger clubs, but we've now reached Fulham, and their first transfer rumor is Chukwueze, the winger from AC Milan. They're also getting Taremi, the striker from Inter Milan. And the final player for them will be Dewsbury Hall. Not a great one. Yeah, I can't lie. These Fulham signings were not the best compared to our previous signings for other clubs, but the 10th club is Ipswich Town. They got relegated last season, so they need some good signings in order to not get relegated again. Their first player they want is Isaac from Sevilla. Not great. They also want this Hackney guy. Also not great. And last player Matusiwa. Yeah, really not great. Ipswich is definitely not surviving the Premier League with this team. So we've now reached Leicester City, which is another team that got relegated last season. But their three interests are apparently Stefan Ortega, which is actually not a bad interest for them. They also want the midfielder Oxlade-Chamberlain and the center back Michael Keane. So yeah, Leicester is also definitely still getting relegated. But now for Liverpool, a huge club. What players are linked to Liverpool? Well, the first and most obvious one is Alexander Isak. He has been heavily linked to joining Liverpool. But you don't need to wait anymore, because now he's joining them in the game. That's a huge signing for Liverpool. But because Liverpool needs a striker, they're linked with a few more, such as Sesko from Leipzig. So he will also be joining this Liverpool team. And final player is actually a surprising one. I didn't know Ronald Araujo was rumored to join them, but now he is. That's actually kinda insane. But the main difference maker here is still Isak. Can he help defend Liverpool the Premier League title? We'll find out in the end of the video. But now at Manchester City, a club you would expect to be linked to big players always. But the first one I found was Lucas Paqueta. Not a bad player, but not that great for Manchester City. But it doesn't get much better in the next one, which is Mark Guehi. He's a good player, but again won't help City at all here. But then the final rumor I found was insane. Cole Palmer linked with a move back to Manchester City. What a plot twist. I have not expected this at all. He returns to Manchester City, and that does make up for their two other signings. But we now go over to the other club in Manchester, Manchester United. They really need to rebuild their team, especially after their horrible performances last season. But their first player that they're interested in is Nicholas Jackson. That won't really help at all. Bro might actually make the team worse, if that's possible. But it does get better in the next one, which is Ollie Watkins, an actual good striker for once. Hopefully, United doesn't make him bad. But their final signing will be Morten Hjulmand, a decent but solid signing, so they haven't improved that much. But will that be enough? Let's wait until the end and see. But Newcastle now. They did lose Isak to Liverpool, so let's see if they can make up for it. First rumor is Lunin to Newcastle. That's interesting, but not very helpful because they already have Nick Pope. However, their next signing will be Gabriel Jesus, an actual striker. Not quite the same level as Isak, but still an actual striker. And final player joining Newcastle United will be Schlotterbeck. That's actually a big signing. They got lucky in the end, because that does improve their team. So maybe their loss of Isak hasn't been that bad. Only 5 clubs remaining. We could still see a shocking transfer here in the end, but we now have Nottingham Forest, and their first rumored player is Musa. So we're starting off small here, but now they are also looking to try and get Christopher Nkunku. He was amazing at Leipzig, kind of fell off at Chelsea, but let's see if he can get back on track here at Nottingham Forest. And their final player they want is Molina, the right back from Atletico Madrid. Those are 3 pretty solid signings, I would say. Southampton up next. They got bottom last season, so they need redemption. And they're doing that by, first of all, signing Lucas Perry, a pretty decent keeper, but they already have Ramadali. Then they get Matt Targett, the defender from Newcastle, and also Luis Guilherme. So those probably won't help Southampton get out of the relegation zone. Time for Tottenham. I've been looking forward to this one. They also need a big rebuild, and damn what a start. Already straight in the first rumor is they want Harry Kane. Why would Harry Kane go back to Tottenham? I don't even know, but Tottenham will get him here. Next up is Julian Brandt, a decent midfield signing, and final player is Kobbie Mainoo, linked to Tottenham. This one is most shocking to me, going from United to Tottenham, a big rival, but 2 clubs left now, and first is West Ham. West Ham are reportedly interested in Fabio Vieira from Arsenal, also Mads Hermansen from Leicester City, but then also Lookman from Atalanta. That's kinda huge for them, saves their attack a little. West Ham looks alright, but the final club is Wolves before we simulate the Premier League season. And let's speedrun it. They first get Amine Adli, then also Miko Tadze, and final player rumored to join them is the fullback from Liverpool, Tsimikas. So not the best of improvements, but still decent upgrades. So we have now made 3 transfers for every club. Big transfers has happened, such as Donnarumma to Chelsea, Isak to Liverpool, Palmer to City, and even Kane for some reason returning to Tottenham. But how will that shape the Premier League? Let's simulate a season and find out. Okay, so I've now simulated till the end of the Premier League season. Comment down below where your club's finishes. Anyways, the 3 relegated teams are the exact same, but Nottingham Forest only in 17th, which is insane. In 12th, we have Bournemouth, and in 11th, it's West Ham. Fulham gets 10th place, and Brighton finishes 9th. Newcastle drops down to 8th, and Chelsea gets 7th, so actually even worse with a better goalkeeper. In 6th, we have United, so that's a huge improvement. And Harry Kane got Tottenham to 5th, Aston Villa in 4th, and in 3rd, we have Manchester City. Before I show you who wins, make sure to subscribe because I'm trying to reach 500,000 before 2026 anyways. In 2nd, it's obviously Arsenal, which means Liverpool's wins it yet again.